From now until the end of July, all WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers can load as many as 3 and 7-day all-access passes as they want into their shopping cart and take 60% off using coupon code CART60. This coupon code can be used only once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, but there is no limit to the amount of 3 and 7-day all-access passes you can load into your cart when redeeming. Every handicapper is eligible, so take advantage of the biggest discount we have ever offered. And don't forget, coupon code CART60 can only be used once per site and expires when the clock strikes midnight on July 31st.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is another edition of Pony Pundits here on this Friday, July the 23rd. Kind of hard to believe, but we are almost to August at this particular point, but we still got a bunch of stakes races now over the next couple of weeks, and nobody better to help you navigate through two of the most beautiful tracks in the country, that being, of course, Del Mar and Saratoga, opposite sides of the country, just like these two gentlemen, pretty much opposite sides of everything. They are back in action. Here they are, Marco D'Angelo and Sig of WagerTalk.com. And, of course, as usual, guys, you can visit their pages at WagerTalk.com, the both of them. But, Marco, welcome back, my friend. You had a little getaway there last week when we did the show. Thanks to Sean for filling in. But I got to ask you, man, it looked absolutely gorgeous from the pictures that Sig and I were looking at there that you were posting from Del Mar. It was the opening weekend. So, welcome back, number one. Number two, give us some of your thoughts and observations of what you saw there in the opening week.
Yeah, well, those opening shots that I did of the two-legged filly variety, I had to convince my wife that the producer, Mr. Ranieri, yourself, requested that for the show. So I had to snap those photos. I got to, cover my tracks, Joe. So I threw you under the bus.
Yeah, she called me.
No problem.
She called me. I got you. We're good.
But, Joe, if you guys remember 2 weeks ago when we talked about the preview to Saratoga and Del Mar, when I did the Del Mar preview, I told you guys about that ship and win program. And my observations from the first week is I got some really live underdogs. We had a nice $17 winner on Saturday with a ship and win angle coming in. It was a horse off a claim. It was a guy that we talked about many times here on the show, Mike Maker, the trainer. Generally doesn't race on the West Coast that often, but he shipped a few horses out there, and he got a couple wins with them. And the one was coming off a claim, going on the turf, and we know he's a good turf guy. So nice win there. The other observation that I will have for you, other than there were some fine fillies in attendance at Del Mar, was watch the tote board, Joe. We talk about this all the time, and I know it's an angle. A lot of people are disgruntled about it. They hate to see their horse, the last a minute to post, they got a horse that might be 10 or 12 to 1. And as they're entering the gate and the gate opens, the odds board drops and they go off at 6 to 1. I got to tell you, you need to be having an app, being able to bet on your phone and have it open and ready for win, place, and show bet. So all you have to do is hit a number, which horse you want to bet, and watch that tote board in the last minute, because a lot of times it is going to tell you the story. I can tell you personally, as a horse owner, when my horse is good, I'm wearing sunglasses, I'm hiding in the corner, I'm not talking to nobody, and I'm making the bet at the last minute, sending it through the pool, not to let everybody know the horse is good. So, don't begrudge the system. If you want to pay the owner's bills, feel free to do so, and you can get that inside info. But the best way to do it, just like we talk about in football, you've heard the phrase steam chasers. Well, watch this tote board, and you can be a steam chaser as well. The last tick of the tote board is the most telling of all.
Love that. I mean, Sig, we often say, right, when we go to the track, we're always watching the tote board, especially in the opening weekend of Del Mar. And with all the other observations around there, the tote board, we'll eventually get there. I can't promise that's going to be the first thing we're watching there, Marco. Certainly wasn't the first thing you were watching. So, Sig, how about it at Saratoga, my man? opening weekend as well. How was the tote board at Saratoga? Talk to us.
Yeah, Joe, so far Saratoga's been playing pretty fairly, but it's been really difficult to get a good gauge on it because we've only had one day of the meet, which started last Thursday, as we've been listed fast and firm. We've had a lot of rain up in that area so far and have been dealing with that with our handicapping and with basically dealing with the scratches and changes here. The jockey leaders up there are the usual suspects. Luis Saez and the Ortiz brothers, Irad and Jose, all have 9 wins through yesterday. And looking at the top trainers here so far, Steve Asmussen has 5 wins, and Brad Cox, Christophe Clement, and Bill Mott all have 4 wins through yesterday's card. So all the usual suspects are in play up at Saratoga here. As for track biases, on the sprint races here, so far the insides had a slight advantage with the one post winning just under 25% of the time, while that inside post has yet to get a win in the routes, going a mile or longer so far. But still getting a feel for it, and Saratoga's been great so far. Always nice to have it.
All right, well, let's 2 of the most magnificent tracks there are in this country here underway, guys. The season has begun. The meet is underway. We've got a big one at Del Mar we're going to break down for you coming up, that being the Eddie Reed Stakes, that being tomorrow, Saturday, race number 8. It is actually a lot of money, the most expensive and lucrative stakes race on the card here at Del Mar this weekend. But before I do get to that, Marco, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what you thought of the Haskell and the disqualification, if you will. Whip, no whip, I don't know. What do you make of it, man? It's just been absolutely a crazy season, has it not?
It has, and, nobody's got to feel worse than Flavian Pratt.
Oh.
I mean, this guy raced at Del Mar on Friday, jumped on a plane to go back to the East Coast to New Jersey, which, I mean, come on, let's be serious. Who really wants to go to New Jersey? All right. Don't at me now in the comment section, but I've raced in New Jersey many times, and it's not my favorite place. But, he flies back to run in $1 million race. Has the race, he's going to be first or second, absolutely guaranteed. And he forgot to put his turn signal on when he crossed over and clipped heels. Fortunately, Midnight Bourbon, it looked worse than it was when it happened. I really thought, that Midnight Bourbon was not going to come out of that unscathed. Just some minor bumps and bruises, no significant injury. Jockey okay. So, dodged a big bullet there, but, $1 million win, if you're the owner, you go from the, the highest point of your career, winning a grade 1 for $1 million purse, and 2 minutes later, it's taken away from you. And anybody that's been involved in racing for any amount of time knew that horse was coming down. There was no question about it. They took their time because of the size of the purse, but he was coming down. The sad part of it is, the horse that he interfered with, Midnight Bourbon, was done, had no shot of winning the race. And if he just would have impeded with them, I think they leave him up. But the fact that they actually clipped heels and the horse went down, they had no choice. They had to take the horse down.
So I got to ask you, Sig, because it's strange, are we looking at, regardless of the outcome there, is Hot Rod Charlie not the best of the rest here in this year's crop of 3-year-olds?
Well, Joe, best of the rest. I think right now, Hot Rod Charlie is your best 3-year-old out there for the year. What I fear is going to happen, though, and I did tweet this out earlier in the week, is he's going to finish first in the Eclipse Awards. Mandaloon's going to finish second. They're going to find some reason to DQ, and Mandaloon's going to get moved up for the 3rd time this year to a grade 1 win.
Woo,
but guys,
man.
With this Haskell race and the it did look a lot worse, as Marco said, than actually it was with Midnight Bourbon and Paco Lopez. But guys, every time you want to get mad at a jockey when you lose a bet or so forth, these guys take their life in their hands every time they go into the starting gate. If you guys do have a good day at the track one day and want to do a little bit something for these guys, there's something out there called the PDJF, the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. These guys don't have great insurance plans or anything like that. They do take their life into their hands, and there are guys that have basically lost their lives or their careers to a sport that we love here. So if you guys ever have a good day at the track, think about donating a little bit back to the PDJF. I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like having a Chevy Impala falling on you, Marco. It's not a very fun experience, guys. I don't think people realize how big these horses really are. So good stuff. And the racing continues, obviously, this weekend into Del Mar. We're going to get to the Eddie Reed Stakes in a minute, but I do want to remind you that both Marco and Sig visit their pages. A lot of very profitable reasons to do so. And, of course, each and every race day, Sig puts up his daily racing reports. You can get them by 9 a.m. each and every race day morning. That is a must-have if you are going to be playing the ponies all week long. So make sure you check that out. And, of course, Marco, nobody is hotter right now, guys. Red hot in the MLB. 77% of his plays have cashed since the All-Star break. He is absolutely on fire. So you can grab 3 days of all access all weekend long. Grab every one of Marco's plays, not only on the diamond, but also at the track for just $69. All you got to do is head over to Marco's page at WagerTalk.com. So, all right, guys, let's start. We're going to go down the list here. And now I'm going to assume, since the first horse here, number one, is 20-1, I'm going to start with Marco. Am I close? Will that work, Marco?
No, actually, it's Sig's turn.
Oh!
He slept in, and I said, "You're starting with number one." That's what happens.
Oh, Sig, I am so sorry. Marco is back and in full form here, my man. Number one, let's go to it. Vantage point here, 20-1 morning line here. Give me your thoughts, Sig, on this 20-1 shot.
Well, Joe, he's shifting west here for trainer Paulo Lobo, and I'm sure they're taking advantage of the ship and win program that my esteemed colleague Marco D'Angelo did talk about here earlier in the show. It's going to be his second attempt at graded stakes, and he finished 8th last year in Keeneland in the Transylvania. But don't be deceived by that finish, guys. He was less than 2 legs from the winner at the wire. I mean, they came across there basically as a blanket in that race here. This colt does have a ways to go, though, before he makes back his purchase price. He was bought for $1.8 million as a yearling and has earned less than $100,000 so far in his lifetime. And he is now a 4-year-old, so they got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
He started his career at the Chad Brown Bar before being moved to Lobo's Barn here for this 4-year-old season. And he possesses closing speed, so I'd suggest using him, guys, on your at the bottom of your exotic tickets, those tries and those supers. But I don't see him as a serious win contender against this field.
All right, well, it's a pretty interesting race here, Marco. A lot of money, the $200,000 Grade 2 stakes here. Talk to me about United, 5-2 morning line. A lot of folks like this horse.
Yeah, I'm one of them, Joe. United, if you look, his last race is disappointing. He finished 4th, and you're going to say, well, he still finished 4th. Yeah, he finished 4th. There was only 4 horses in the race, so it definitely was a disappointing 4th. Now, a couple notes from that race. That was his second start of the year. The horse had been off since November, came back and raced on March 20th. Then they come back and raced the horse a month later, May 29th, for a second start of the season. He won his opening start off the layoff. Everything was all systems go for this horse, and he went off the overwhelming favorite and finished dead last. Fortunately, because it was a 4-horse field, there was no show betting, or somebody would have been doing a nosedive off of one of those bridge jumpers if there was. But after the race, Richard Mandela said the horse had a problem. He came out of the race with a foot problem. That was the problem in the race. So now, why do I like him so much here? If he's coming back and he had a foot problem, what's the indicator that he is ready to go here? How about the fact, if you look at his last workout, they breezed this horse on the 18th of July. They went 5 furlongs in 58 and change. That is smoking. They're drilling this horse. That's telling me they're ready to roll with him. This is a class horse. You look up and down his card, it's nothing but graded stakes races. The horse has made $1.5 million in his career, and he gets Flavien Prat that stays with him. Flavien Prat had a couple choices, other horses that he's ridden before. He stays with United. I'm staying with United. This is the horse. He's second choice in the board right now. I think it's going to go off pretty close to co-favorites in this race between him and a horse we'll talk about later, Smooth Like Strait, but I like United a lot on Saturday.
All right, well then let's move on. Number 3 here. Let's talk about it. Say the word here, Sig. 3-1 shot in this race. Small field, 7 horses. Talk to me about Say the Word.
Well, Joe, now 6 years old, this gelding's hit the board in all of his starts for the D'Amato barn dating back to last November here at Del Mar. He's definitely the class of the field. The past 7 starts have all come in graded stakes here. Marco just mentioned Smooth Like Strait, who we'll be talking about shortly. He ran second to him in the Shoemaker Mile at Santa Anita back in May with Pratt aboard him in the irons here. He gets Mike Smith on Saturday here at Del Mar. It used to be a jockey upgrade, in my opinion, when Mike Smith off the board a horse, but recently I tend to believe that his age may finally be catching up to him, and I slightly downgrade his mounts here. The horse here shows a lot of heart and always shows up on race days. So make sure he's on your exotic tickets, as I do expect him to hit the board. I do think I think he could be an upset candidate in here, but not a strong win contender.
All right, we'll move on. Number 4, count again. 5-1 here, Marco. I believe, what was that, the Turf Classic last time we saw with a fourth finish. Looks like Bravo on top. Talk to me about the number 4, count again.
Yeah, this is a horse makes a lot of sense in this race. However, you got to throw somebody out in a race, and I find a couple horses I like a little bit better. One of the reasons here is the horse's style. This is a horse that is a absolute stone cold closer. There is speed in this race, but there's not blistering speed because nobody's going to want to run with Smooth Like Strait, and go serious fractions. So although there will be an honest pace, it's not going to be super fast, which is what you need to get these horses that are stone closers home. The other problem that you have with a horse like Count Again, in his last race, if you go back and watch it, he broke from post 2, got away 8th out of the gate, settled in next to last in the field, stayed on the rail the entire way, finally found an opening late and was trying to come through to get there. He made it close at the end. But again, everything has to go right with these type of horses. You're going to have 2 things to deal with. If you stay inside, you're going to have to hope and pray that somewhere there's an opening when the horses that are slowing down are coming back to you that you can get through cleanly. Or you have to go the dreaded trip. And the dreaded trip is to be 4 or 5 wide in the last turn, and you're losing too much ground in a turf race when you're that wide, and that's why you run out of racetrack. And that's what happened to him 2 starts back. He went the outside route, and that extra ground in the turn cost him the race. He will be flying. I say put him on your trifecta and your superfecta in the 3rd and 4th spot, but I don't think he's a candidate for winner place. And the other final candidate reason why I'm looking past him into another one, the jockey that had ridden him 3 times in a row, Juan Hernandez, one of the up and coming jockeys. He's been riding very well. He chose a different horse in this race, and that horse is kind of unique. You'll hear me talk more about it later. It's going to be one of Sig's horses, but it has me looking to that horse because of the jockey decision.
All right, very good. Moving on here to, I believe we're number 5 here, Sig. Is that correct? 8-1 for you, award winner. Talk to me. What do you think here?
Oh, as Marco just said, Juan Hernandez decided on a different horse than Count Again, and that horse is award winner here. He's entering Saturday's race off of back-to-back wins in an allowance race, and then the Charlie Whittingham Stakes at Santa Anita, and Hernandez was aboard him for that race. He's been aboard him for 3 of his last 4 races, hitting the exacta in each of those races. And while impressive, he prefers racing on the front end and in a race full of closing speed. That's not where I want to be. That's not where I want my horses to be, is on the front end. And there's a lot of speed lined up for early in this race. I'm impressed with the recent performances, but I believe they came against lesser fields than he's going to be seeing here on Saturday. And I don't foresee award winner winning any awards on Saturday, but I definitely will use him defensively on the lower end of my exotic tickets.
All right, there we go. And wouldn't you look at this? Number 6. Shocker, Marco. 9-5 here. Look at this, Sig. Smooth Like Strait. All right, you've mentioned them, so talk to us. Break it down. Mike McCarthy here. What are we looking at with Smooth Like Strait?
Well, let's start with Mike McCarthy as a trainer. It's early in the meet at Del Mar, but he sent 7 horses to post so far. He's got a win, 3 seconds, and a third. That translates to 71% in the money. That's pretty damn good out of the gate opening week at Del Mar. Also, you look at Smooth Like Strait. This is the kind of horse you want. He's got great speed out of the gate. This horse always breaks well out of the gate. If you look down the line, all of his races, I see nothing but 1s and 2s out of the gate, meaning he can decide where he wants. If somebody decides they want to go to the front and really go at it hard, he can sit there second. If not, he can control the race, which he has done in most of his races. And because he breaks from the outside, he will have position on all of those inside horses to go where he wants. And I think where he wants is going to be on the lead. I think United will sit right behind him. And I think Award Winner, who also possesses gate speed, will sit in right behind that horse as well. With that said, and because he can carry that speed right to the wire, nobody's going to want to challenge him early. They're going to challenge him late, which to me makes it harder for those horses that are stone cold closers and makes the most logical choices to battle him be United and be Award Winner. I am going to go ahead, put Smooth Like Strait on my ticket. It basically was a coin flip between him and United. I went for the better price horse, but Smooth Like Strait I will have in both the first and second position on all of my gimmicks. And I'm talking exactas, talking tries. And if you do a rolling daily double, I will be using Smooth Like Strait as well with United.
All right. Well, that leaves one more horse here in the 7-horse field there. Sig, Restrained Vengeance, 10-1, coming off a win at the American Stakes, the Grade 3. Talk to me about Restrained Vengeance at 10-1.
Yeah, Joe, this 6-year-old gelding has not missed the board since Tyler Bays took the irons earlier this spring with a win, a second, and 2 third-place finishes, all in graded stakes company, all at the 1 mile distance. And while he does have 2 career wins at this 9 furlong distance we're going here on Saturday, I believe this race does not set up well for him as he likes to be close to the pace. And as Marco had just said here, I think Smooth Like Strait and United are going to be on the early pace here. Award Winner is going to probably challenge that a little bit. I think he's going to be exerting a little too much energy early. I don't think he's going to have enough left in the tank here at the end here unless he uses some restraint because he is Restrained Vengeance. I may use him defensively at the bottom of a few of my exotic tickets, but I don't foresee him being a serious win contender against this field.
All right, well, there you go. The Eddie Reed Stakes, race number 8, Del Mar on Saturday, guys. And before we take a look at both Marco and Sig's tickets, just want to remind you, heading over to WagerTalk.com could make it an extremely profitable weekend here, guys. Not only with Sig's daily racing reports available 9 a.m., race days all week long. Certainly something you guys want to hop aboard there. Make sure you never miss a daily racing report from Sig. Get over to WagerTalk.com right now, or just go to his page, wt.buzz/Sig, as well as Marco and that 3-day all-access package, $69, guys. He is 77% in the MLB since the All-Star break, seeing the board really well. So get all of his plays, all sports, all selections, $69 for the next 3 days. Great opportunity to hop on board there. And Marco, we're coming back to you, in fact. So let's take a look at your card here for race 8 at Del Mar, the Eddie Reed Stakes tomorrow. What do you got on it?
Well, I'm going with United on top. As they said, I wanted a price horse, get a little better price with that one. The other thing is, Joe, I got Smooth Like Strait second. You will use both of these horses in both positions. But the one thing I do want to point out about Smooth Like Strait, as good as he has been, this year he's had 5 starts. And if you look, the last 4 races with Smooth Like Strait have been, last 3 races have been without Lasix this year in the stakes company. We know the rule change this year. And it seems like he got a win in his last one, but the previous 2, he got just caught at the wire. And that's a sign of a horse maybe that, needed the Lasix and, just, bled a little bit in the race and didn't get that last little bit air capacity that the horse needs if he was bleeding into his lungs and got caught at the wire. United is an old seasoned veteran. I like this horse to turn the tables on Smooth Like Strait and nip him at the wire. I will tell you, like most turf races, it will be a fantastic finish because you'll get horses closing in here. I went for the third horse, Say the Word. He makes the most sense in this race for looking for getting a price, to come on the ticket. He'll be mid-pack. He's a closer, but not a stone-cold closer like the 4 was. And then I put the 5 on the ticket because Juan Hernandez is sticking with this horse. And this horse is making the biggest class jump of any of the horses in the field. He has the least experience in graded stakes. But if you look at his last 4 races, he has had significant speed figure increases in every race. So we see it on paper. The horse is improving with every start. He's not the same horse he was last year. And we see it with Hernandez telling us he's picking this horse over the 4 horse. That tells me all I need to know. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take him on the ticket for my 4th choice.
Love it. Award winner, son of Ghost Zapper. How about that, Sig, huh? Started out east, moved out west. Like the change of scenery? Boy, that sounds good. I think a trip to Del Mar is in my future. All right, Sig, let's take a look. What do you got going on, my friend? Talk to us about your card.
Well, Joe, Marco and I definitely agree on the top 2 here. I think it comes down to Smooth Like Strait and United. I did lean with Smooth Like Strait for a few reasons. Biggest being, I think this might come up a little short here at 9 furlongs for United. He's like to go longer here, and I think maybe that 9 furlongs, that starting on that finish wire might come up a little bit quicker for him than he expects here. Nothing against Flavian Pratt, who is a fantastic rider and knows the horse very well. But I lean to Smooth Like Strait. He's being trained by Mike McCarthy, who came up under Todd Pletcher. He's really been making a name for himself this year under Rombauer. Rombauer's had a heck of a 3-year-old season, and I think McCarthy's got basically training with a lot more confidence in here. Smooth Like Strait has 2 wins and a second in his 3 starts at Del Mar Turf, and in my belief, he is the rightful morning line favorite. Like I said, my knock on United, the only knock on United, is I think the race might be a little too short for him. I think he prefers going longer than this 9 furlong distance. I did end up then going to Count Again as my 3rd choice in here. He's danced all the big dances, recently coming off of 6 straight graded stakes entries. Joe Bravo's picking up the mount here for Phil D'Amato, and he should provide the gelding with a clean trip in there. Marco got all the even horses, who you see my top 3 choices are all even horses, so I got to make up for lost time talking about them. And then I did end up on Say the Word. I think one of Marco's horses has well in here as my 4th choice. And yeah, you guys already heard my thoughts on Say the Word, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time here.
I love it. All right, there we go. And Marco, just who's going to be the early speed in this race?
It's going to be Smooth Like Strait.
It is going to be Smooth Like Strait. Okay, it's going to go right out. You agree, Sig? That's going to be the pace setter?
I do agree. The question is going to be who's going to challenge him and how much of a challenge they're going to present here, if he's going to be able to control the race or he's going to have an early battle on his hands.
Going to be an interesting race here, guys. Race number 8 at Del Mar. That is the Eddie Reed Stakes, guys. Make sure you check it out, but also make sure you check out both Marco and Sig's pages over at WagerTalk.com. Big weekend of racing. Got a lot of MLB. There's a whole lot going on. Olympics. There's a whole lot of ways for you to make it a profitable weekend. But it starts with heading over to WagerTalk.com. Visit Sig, visit Marco, and let's make it a very profitable weekend at the track and beyond. So there you got it, guys. Del Mar race number 8 on Saturday. Pony Pundits will be back again next Friday here as we get you ready for another weekend of racing. In the meantime, on behalf of Marco D'Angelo and Sig, best of luck with your plays this weekend here, guys. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll get notified every time we go live here with Pony Pundits, powered by WagerTalk.com. Best of luck, guys. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
From now until the end of July, all WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers can load as many as 3 and 7-day all-access passes as they want into their shopping cart and take 60% off using coupon code CART60. This coupon code can be used only once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, but there is no limit to the amount of free and 7-day all-access passes you can load into your cart when redeeming. Every handicapper is eligible, so take advantage of the biggest discount we have ever offered. And don't forget, coupon code CART60 can only be used once per site and expires when the clock strikes midnight on July 31st.